Good evening. Hello, everyone. It is me. It is I. I have come to you. Actually, you have come to me in my living room. I don't have Christmas decorations up yet. Yeah, it's kind of bad. But, no, I have not had the chance to do that. Hi, everyone. So welcome to Monday Night Reading. Hi, Tammy. Hello, Laura. How are you feeling? I hope you're feeling better. So welcome to Monday Night Reading. Yes, I did a poll earlier, and I was hoping for a different outcome, but everyone, well, the majority of people have voted for me to read Desire of the Heart, so I'm going to do that tonight. I just wanted to say hi, Connie. Hey, Connie, how are you? Thanks for joining us tonight. So I will be reading Desire of the Heart. I wanted to read for whatever tomorrow may come because I love those characters. I love the Leah is probably one of my favorite characters because she's so funny. She makes me laugh. So anyway, but I will be reading that at some point to everyone anyway. Hi, Lynn, Natalie. Anyway, it's Desire of the Heart. The majority of people voted for that. And, thank you. I am good. I have apple pie waiting for me to be eaten. Look. Alas, my children, well, one of my children and his wife. Hi, Natalie. I thought I saw you pop up there. Hi, Lisa. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So my oldest has returned back to California, and he's so funny because he hates the beach. He hates the sun. He hates the warmth. So he's like, it's warm here. I'm like, well, duh, it's 20 degrees here. He's like, oh, I wish. Hi, Deanna. Nice of you to join us. Yum. Yeah, this is our last apple pie. I have some more, but nobody likes it. I don't know what I did with it. I put some nutmeg in it, and that was not a hit. So everyone's kind of complaining about that one, including me. So we're just gonna, I don't know what we're gonna do with it. Give it to Raven. Not. Anyway. So yeah, my oldest is back in California. I miss him. I miss my daughter-in-law too. She's really sweet. And she actually got really, really, really sick. The last couple of days she was here. It's not COVID. We all tested. She's a teacher, so she wanted to make sure. And also she wanted to make sure for other reasons that I am not ready to discuss yet, but I can't wait to discuss it. Anyway, but she was she got sick when she was here with what we call the Vermont flu, I think. Yeah, sore throat, just not feeling well. And so she just, it knocked her out. She kind of missed Thanksgiving. Yeah, she was upstairs sleeping, and then, so sad. I felt so bad for her, and she just messaged me. She's like, I'm home, we're home. My son got home a day earlier because he had to work yesterday. He scheduled some clients. He works for himself. He's a farrier. Clients expect him to be there when they snap the finger. So he scheduled somebody on Saturday. She stayed at her parents' one extra day, which is good because she really was not up to driving 4 hours from LA to their house. So anyway, but she goes, I'm feeling better. I'm sorry to hear that. A lot of people aren't feeling well. That's so sad. I shook all my sickness before. I was like, I'm not sick. Hey, Kristen. Look. This is my last apple pie from Thanksgiving. I used nutmeg. We have to have a discussion about that. It's not, it's kind of icky. Nobody liked it. 4 hours. No, it is not. It's really, the distances in California, oh, it takes a while. Hi, Jacqueline. Jacqueline? Jacqueline. I have a niece, and her name is spelled, well, a little bit different, but her name is Jacqueline. So I'm like, oh, Jacqueline. Yeah, I used nutmeg and cinnamon, and it was not a hit. Anyway, I'm so glad you all are here. So we're going to go to Yellowstone, which, yay, I love going to Yellowstone. And before we get started, yes, the whole series is on sale. Super duper. I'm so excited that I had the brilliant idea of putting it on sale this week. And so you can get the series for like $4. There's 3 books, so first 2 are 99 cents, and the third one is $1.99. So it's a great price. This will give you lots and lots of reading enjoyment. So I'm going to start with Desire of the Heart. I will definitely be reading from whatever tomorrow may bring at some point, because I love. Oh, gosh, I missed all these. Thank you. Yes, go to my page. I will go to my page. I have to make it public. Ugh. But anyway, so, yes, Desire of the Heart is set at Yellowstone. Most of you know that. And I have to say, it is a cute story. I had so much fun writing it, researching it, and visiting. Okay. Anything else? Thank you thank you for sharing, Laura. Thank you. I'm gonna get started. All right, chapter 1. Yes. Ranger McYum. Kristen has the best nicknames. She's coming out with all these funny. I love it. She's got a list of nicknames for. Well, anyway, could this view be more breathtaking? Katie Jackson set her backpack down and leaned against the Rocky Mountain juniper behind her. The stillness of the early morning hour, the golden nicknames are fun, yes. The golden glow of the light and the breathtaking beauty around her made her gulp in the cool air as if she were starving for another breath. Wind tousled her long brown hair. It touched her cheek, just like a soft kiss her mom used to give her before bed. A sudden longing for her mom's soft arms overcame her, made her shake her head in disbelief. She had only been gone from home for a day, and already she couldn't handle the solitude. Technically, she wasn't even by herself. Beside her cousin Ashley, God was with her wherever she went. I'm already laughing. Come on. It was both a sobering and pleasant thought. Taking another large gulp of air, with a slight but permanent sulfur odor, Katie pulled out her camera and started snapping away, trying to capture the way she saw the beauty around her, and knowing she never could. The blue of the sky alone I love it. The sky alone was amazing. Azure blue, it went on forever. Is it azure blue or azure? I always thought it was azure. Azure? Whatever. I just heard it azure, so maybe I should. Azure blue, it went on forever, only interrupted by white puffy clouds, bouncing into each other. The majestic mountain range surrounding the expansive fields with knee-high yellowing grass demanded to be noted, respected. Thank you. I had it right. Coming to this national park has been a brilliant idea, she thought. Katie patted herself on the back mentally while she raised her camera. The clicking of the shutter was the only sound that disturbed the quiet of the morning. I can get used to this place, she whispered. A bald eagle. We saw eagles. It was pretty cool. We actually saw an osprey. Oh, it was awesome. A bald eagle came swooping from over the tree line surrounding the field. Her lens followed the majestic animal as it touched down beneath the tall... Hello, Paula. Welcome. Good evening. Her lens followed the majestic animal as it touched down beneath the tall yellow grass, and seconds later took off, with a large rodent clutched in its sharp talons. A shiver passed over her as the bird of prey let out its shrill call of triumph. Oh, Lord, thank you for letting me come here. It seemed a shame to disturb the silence of her soft words of awe and gratitude. Packing up her gear and grabbing a bottle of water, she hiked further down the officially marked trail, knowing there was another breathtaking view waiting for her. This was Yellowstone, after all, the first national park in the world. Lost in thought and admiring the beauty as she slowly walked along the dirt trail, she spotted another dark form meandering completely unhurried through the tall grass. Perhaps 50 feet from her, several things occurred at the same time. First, the muscles in her body froze immediately. Next, her fist shoved itself into her mouth to stop the scream that was forming deep in her suddenly paralyzed lungs. Simultaneously, a tremor coursed through her from the tip of her toes to the tips of her hair. Time stopped, and she was facing death. Staring back at her through dark, beady eyes, working its bottom jaw, stood a bear. Not a cute, cuddly bear like Yogi. Yep, Yogi, about to steal her picnic basket, but a live, full-grown grizzly bull with a hump between its massive shoulders. Her head filled with stories of people getting mauled on the exploration of the West. One particular painting she had seen, Pooh Bear. No, one particular painting she had seen in a museum as a child became her foremost thought. She was unarmed and alone. She hadn't heeded the warnings at the ranger station to carry bear spray or to travel in a group. True. Uncertain of how much time had passed while they were sizing each other up, Katie finally managed to move her feet. She inched away from the certainty of death, never taking her eyes off the animal. Not only did her feet work, her lungs also became compliant, and a scream erupted from her mouth and ripped through the silence. The bear, who had been lumbering away, stopped abruptly, his beady eyes once more coming to rest on her. As if seeing her for the first time, he seemed to consider the morsel in front of him. He shook his mighty head. Dust, dirt, and other debris spraying everywhere. I'm sorry. The air became slightly pungent, with a peculiar smell, raising the hair on the back of her neck. God, please don't let him kill me. I'm too young to be his lunch. Lungs and feet both in working order, they seemed to have understood the urgency for escape, the need to get away, or be an early lunch. Without breaking eye contact with the now seemingly hungry bear, she stepped slowly away. You can't outrun a bear. It seemed appropriate to hear her father's deep masculine voice in her head. So stay calm. Oh, that's easier said than done, she panted softly as she took another step. Every muscle, every sinew was bound tightly for her to take off in the sprint to save her life. Every thought screamed at her to run as fast as her legs could carry. She fought the instinct and took another small step backward, her eyes on the bear, who now seemed to find her somewhat curious, tracking her with his gaze. Not a good place to be. Oh God, what do I do? He's way too interested in me, she gasped. Like lightning, a lightning strike, it hit her. Katie lifted her arms and started to yell, "Please let this work." The bear seemed to take another moment to consider her, shook his massive head again, gave a loud huff, blowing tiny particles into the air, and lumbered away from her into the tall grass. Breath catching in her throat, Katie allowed her body to take over and ran in the opposite direction from the large brown object that no longer paid any attention to her. The path was uneven and she stumbled several times, but caught herself, occasionally, glancing behind her for evidence of pursuit from the 600-pound bear. She increased her speed over the rocks and ruts scattered on the path. Bye, Laura. Thank you for joining me. And feel better. Bye. Breath short and ragged, heartbeat wildly thumping in her ears, claws ripping into her flesh. As her imagination took over, she stopped paying attention. Her right ankle twisted sharply, and her leg gave out, sending her diving across the path. Dust formed thick clouds around her, raining dirt on her back. Tiny pebbles and sand embedded themselves under the skin of her. Oh, hello, ladies. I know Deanna joined. I saw that, and I'm sorry I didn't say hi. Good evening. We are reading Desire of the Heart. As her imagination took over, she stopped paying attention. Her right ankle twisted sharply, her leg gave out, sending her diving across the path. Dust formed thick clouds around her, raining dirt on her back. Tiny pebbles and sand embedded themselves under the skin of her knee, skin she left behind on the trail. Katie rolled onto her back and bit her bottom lips hard to prevent another scream from bursting from her mouth. A metallic taste, mixed with dirt and tiny rocks, crunched between her teeth. Pain undulated from her ankle to her knees. Instinctively, she curled into a ball and focused on breathing through her agony. Hi, Michelle. We've got Michelle and Dana, and we've got lots of people. Thanks for joining me tonight, ladies. We are reading Desire of the Heart, which is book 1 of the Yellowstone series. Now, why did you do that? She thought. Tears stung in her eyes, and she panted hard. As the dust started to settle around her and on top of her, she began to take inventory of various body parts. Touching her injured ankle turned her vision fuzzy. She ground her molars so hard she feared they would crack. Slowly, Katie rocked to sit up, taking visual inventory. Dirt, rocks, and other parts of the path were embedded under her skin. Blood was running in thin rivulets down her legs. Her hands stung, and upon examination... Hi! Oh, I'm going to stop for a second. We've got a birthday girl in the house. It's Darlene's birthday today. Happy birthday! Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Darlene. Happy birthday to you. Woo! Happy birthday, my dear friend. Thanks for joining me tonight. Her hands stung, and upon examination, Katie found them in the same state as her knees. Her arms were covered in slick, gooey blood. You know, she huffed, irritated at nobody but herself, and the breeze coming off the meadow beyond. Figures I would end up in this mess. When she recalled the reason for her accident, her breath quickened. She scanned the area, looking for the bear. Gone. At least she was safe. In pain, but safe. Gingerly, Katy moved her right foot. Brittle shards of agony sliced up her leg. Her breath caught when she searched for her equipment and her very expensive and her very expensive camera. She discovered the backpack a few feet away. Oh my gosh. Further down the path, and winced as she tried to retrieve it and her green ball cap. With an extra long sigh, Katy settled into the shorter grass along the side of the path and contemplated her bleak future. You are welcome, Darlene. And Kristen, you are too funny. She was at least a mile from the parking lot where she had parked her rental. Katy nibbled her bottom lip and glared at her steadily throbbing ankle and knees, as if to make them stop. I won't make it back on my own, she whispered. Sorry. It was comforting to hear her own voice as fear started to grip her. Katy Jackson, you're in trouble. Knowing that if she took her boot off, she'd never get it on again, Katy untied her right hiking boot and carefully pulled down her thick socks for a visual inspection. Her ankle was turning black and blue, swelling up nicely like a balloon. God, how do I get out of here? She was at Yellowstone Park, a mile off the road, on a fairly well-traveled trail. Come on, Lord. There have to be other people who walk along this trail. It's the middle of the summer, for crying out loud. This is the most visited park in the world. Talking to herself, to God, out loud, was making the butterflies in her stomach calm down, allowing her to breathe a tad more easily. So would you please send someone down this path before the bear returns and does turn me into lunch? The thought of the grizzly returning shoved her unsteadily to her feet. The blood on her knees was beginning to dry, and standing up irritated the skin, making the wound bleed again. Katy stuffed her long, dark brown hair through the hole in the back of her ball cap and contemplated her next move. Katy, perhaps going out by yourself wasn't the most brilliant idea you've had. She hobbled a few feet forward, pain radiating up her leg, and dispersed somewhere around her hips. Pain radiated up her leg and dispersed somewhere around her hips. Her breath caught as her throat burned. If she didn't make it, would her cousin even know where to look for her? A wave of something like determination poured through her. You have to do it. Nobody is around. It's just you and God. And he's not taking any more calls right now. Immediately, Katy felt bad for her snide remark. She didn't believe it. It was her own fault that she was stuck here, but somehow God would get her out, one way or another. Put one foot in front of the other, and soon we'll be walking across the floor, she sang out of key. When her ankle and knees gave out, she lowered down to the ground before she caused more harm to herself. Change of plans, she groaned. Sit down before you fall down. Finding a tree to lean against, Katy wiped at the sweat on her face, wincing as she remembered that her hands were bloodied. I must look like I was mauled by a bear. Lips quirked up into a smile. Rummaging around in her pack for some tissues, she was tempted to leave it. Tears began to run down her cheeks as she attempted to clean the gash on her knee. She was nearly done when she thought she heard footsteps coming her way. Footsteps! Cocking her head, she determined that it was not the bear, having changed his mind. The air that had been trapped in her lungs burst out at the sight someone coming toward her. Yay! I'm sorry. Another steadying breath took her right again. Put her right again. Thank you, Lord. I guess you were taking my call today after all. The person came closer, and as she recognized the uniform, Katie determined that perhaps she had thanked God prematurely. She shifted uncomfortably on the ground, rocks and pebbles poking through the thin fabrics of her shorts. How would a ranger react to her sitting by the side of the trail, bleeding? By herself, no less, with a bear roaming around. May Ranger McRescue to the rescue. I think that actually hurts. How would, by herself no less, with a bear roaming around. Katie swallowed the thickened glob in her throat. Ma'am, you're hurt. What happened? The ranger was by her side in a flash. I think I'm okay, really. She must look like she had barely survived an attack by space aliens. I was startled by a very big bear, and I tripped and twisted my ankle. His eyes opened wide, and he searched the area. His hand went to his weapon at his side. Did it hurt you? Katie lowered her head, twisted her fingers, and felt ever so foolish. No, but the trail did. When I fell, it twisted my ankle and scraped my knees. A soft, irritated breath escaped the ranger's mouth. He lifted his wide, brimmed Smokey the Bear hat off his face. Pewter eyes searched hers. Why is there blood on your face? Before she could come up with a good enough answer, the ranger slipped on latex gloves and probed her scalp carefully. I can just visualize that right now. It's like a monkey. You know how the monkeys go? Let me look. Okay, I'm sorry. If she had known this was going to be she was going to be interrogated like this, perhaps she shouldn't have asked for help, God for help. She scrunched up her face. I wiped the sweat off my face. The ranger's mouth twitched. Then he cleared his throat. Ma'am, did the bear chase you? And where was it? Again with the questions. Katie pointed. I first saw him over there, at the edge of the meadow. And no, he didn't chase me. He was watching me closely. I might have heard his stomach growl. With a near inaudible snort, the ranger rifled through his pack and came up with a rectangular box with a red cross on it. This is going to sting, she hissed from the reaction of the alcohol swab to the cuts on her knees. No kidding. The throbbing sensation rattled through her whole body. I'm afraid I will have to take you to the clinic. This really ought to be cleaned out. May I take a look at your ankle? Might as well get it over with. Might as well get on with it. She grunted and nodded. Oh, wow! Hey! Excuse me, nodded her head once. Hello! I am so happy to see you here. Well, one moment. This might hurt a bit, he said, as he gently untied her laces further. Fire ascended her leg as soon as he touched her ankle. Determined not to scream, she puffed out shallow breaths like she had seen her mother instruct women who were in labor. I'm sorry. It's not your fault, she panted, sweat beading on her forehead. He rummaged through the box and came up with an ice pack. After breaking it in his hand, he held it to her ankle. Katie gave a whimper and flattened her lips together. The ranger secured the ice pack in place with an ace bandage. My truck is at the end of the trail, in the lot. Let me help you, ma'am. He inspected her face. With a lopsided grin, he pointed to a pack of wet wipes. May I, Ms.? Katie frowned, then nodded her head. Her parents had taught her to respect those in uniform. It's Katie Jackson, and yes, you may. Thank you. With quick, nimble fingers, he cleaned most of the blood off in no time. He reached for the radio hooked on his belt. What did the bear look like? Big. A definite, irritated scowl crossed his face. The gray eyes measured her coolly. Big? What color? Brownish gray or black? Did it have a hump? Katie's face warmed. She felt like a fool. It was definitely brown, and did I mention it was big? It was a grizzly. The ranger cleared his throat, set his mouth into a firm straight line. He held his walkie-talkie to his lips. Sandy, it's grand. I'm over on Upper Terrace, about a mile from the north parking lot. We had a bear sighting. No engagement, just a sighting. The radio crackled. Thanks, Grant. Oh, yeah. It was a grizzly, and it was big. His lips tightened around the edges. His eyes focused on the horizon. And we have an injured hiker. At this, he frowned down at Katie. Her eyes widened at the realization that she was the aforementioned injured hiker. I'll be taking her to the clinic. Scraped knees and hands and twisted, swollen ankle. Nothing life-threatening. I'll be back in touch with once I've completed that task. I'll still patrol the trail after I'm done. Roger that, Grant. Static followed. So, anyway, hi, Crystal? Wow. Okay, so any newcomers? Yes, Crystal is here. Wow, it's been like ages. I'm so glad you're here. I've been praying for you and kind of following along. It's really hard to do that. You know how busy we are. Anyway, but so that is the first part of this book. I hope you have sort of enjoyed. I don't know if I want to keep reading. It is Darlene's birthday. Let me just see. Oh yeah, I'm almost at the end. So if you bear with me, I will keep reading. Whew. And grab a snack. You know, I'm gonna just not right now because I'm talking and it's weird to talk and eat at the same time. Grant McClintock scanned the area again, making sure that the bear hadn't doubled back and was rethinking his breakfast plans. I love that. Oh, and by the way, I can just picture it right now because, you know, I've been to Yellowstone. Yay! And I can just picture where this is taking place. And it's really funny because the trails are like dirt trails and there's grass on either side and trees and all that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I can see Katie right there, you know, looking out over the meadow and thinking, oh, it's so beautiful. And then the bear. We did not see a bear. We saw plenty of buffaloes and elk. Okay, this injured hiker was a huge inconvenience. His very orderly morning had turning chaotic, something that made his stomach twist, and it wasn't the 4 cups of, isn't it though? I want to go back. It wasn't the 4 cups of office coffee he had consumed this morning. Grant hadn't planned on escorting her back to the parking lot a mile away or transporting her to the clinic. It would take hours before he was back on the trail, all alone with nature. He had other paths to patrol before he would be giving a tour in the afternoon. Late. I hate this part, so I'm going to keep it. He gently prodded. I don't know if he's a Baptist, but yeah, it's hard for him to change pews at church, you know? True. He's very set in his ways. He gently prodded the swollen ankle. Foot, I don't think your ankle is broken. He scrubbed the back of his neck. Give me your hand. I'll help you back to the parking lot. The young woman, who looked much better now that her face was cleaned of blood, rewarded him with a look. He had seen that one before in Bridget's face and found himself hard-pressed not to laugh. I told you I can get there myself. It's just going to take me a while, maybe the remainder of my vacation. Let's do this my way, shall we? The day was getting away from him. On top of this, he would now have to fill out a report. Oh dear. With a deepening scowl, he stuck his hand out in her direction. Give me your hand. Do you recall? There's a bear lumbering around in the vicinity. That got her attention. Since her face paled ever so slightly, she accepted his offer and stood swaying on her own 2 feet. Grant stuffed the soiled gloves as well as the bloody wipes into the trash bag he carried with him and stowed everything into his pack. He is a ranger. Good to go, he asked. Tried to keep the irritation out of his voice. Uh-huh. Her lips firmly pressed together. This was going to be a long mile. He supported her as well as he could, but after a few steps, the injured woman groaned in pain and sank back down to the ground. He swallowed down his annoyance and raised his eyes to the sky. Why had he even bothered to get out of bed this morning? Sometimes I ask myself that too. I'm going to stop here. Hello, Julie. So I'm going to stop here because this is a great place to stop. We're at the end of chapter 1. I didn't read Ashley's part, but that's okay. Anyway, thank you for coming out tonight and hanging out with me. Thank you, Crystal. It's great to see you. And thank you, everyone, ladies. Kristen and Diana and Laura, she's left, and Lisa and Paula and everyone who hung out with me tonight. So, quickly, the series is on sale this week. So, and I will be probably giving away some ebooks and audiobooks actually too. Yep, of this book at least. So, we're getting geared up for the party. I hope you all come and join us because seriously, it is going to be epic. I mean, I think there's 35 authors involved. Yikes! Yikes! It's fun. It's fun to arrange this kind of stuff, and actually, a lot of them are new authors to me that I have not met. So it'll be really neat to see them, what they have and what they bring, and yay! So party starts on Wednesday, I think, the first. So there won't be a game day, obviously. And I will not be able to read next Monday because we'll be having a party. Yes. But it'll be great fun. I know a lot of authors are planning on reading from their books live or videotaped. So that'll be really, really cool. I love listening to the authors read and just hearing their the way they read their stories. It's just great. But yeah, lots of prizes. I know I'm planning on giving away a lot of prizes. Oh yes. I have some things coming in soon, so that'll be awesome. And the weirdest part about this party is, I usually have a book, a new book to come out around this time, and I don't. And I'm feeling really strange about that. But it's okay. It's okay. I have to live with it. And new book will come out soon. I have been really in the writing mood, like big time. I've been getting about 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 words since Thanksgiving. So that's really good. Okay. Thank you. Have a lovely evening. Remember, party starts Wednesday. I am the first one to start us off. Wednesday is going to be a crazy day because we have back-to-back authors. Thursday we have back-to-back authors, and I'm really excited because an author that I have been studying, not a lot because she was a pretty new author to me. She will be joining us, and so that'll be really cool. She's known as the Kissing Queen, so I don't know if that's a really if that's a hit, but it's great. Happy birthday, Darlene, and I hope you had a lovely day, And ladies, thank you for watching and joining me. Good night.